and MC Escher is hard at work on yet another stunning art piece.
What? How did you get in here?
The door was unlocked.
What? You can't just walk into someone's house.
I'm trying to enlighten these people about your mathematical greatness.
Well, go on then.
MC Escher here was born in 1898. His artistic work explores many mathematical concepts, most famously infinity and tessellations. Can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Well, my name is Moritz Cornelius Escher, but I am usually referred to as MC Escher. I am known for my mathematically inspired art. These pieces featured impossible constructions, explorations of infinity, architecture, and repeated tiling called tessellations. My mathematical influence is largely visual and highly intuitive. Many of the things I have created have been derived from strong mathematical components that incorporate impossible objects like the nectar cube or the Penrose triangle. Whoa! Look at all those shapes! I am adored by mathematicians and scientists who have a thing for polyhedra and geometric distortions.
Where are some of the places that you find inspiration?
Well, I get inspiration from the locations I have visited, like back in '36, when I went to the Mediterranean. That trip was the richest source of inspiration I have ever tapped. Wow, how did that get there?
What concepts did you learn while you were abroad that have helped you to improve your technique?
I visited Alhambra, Spain, years after the Moors. These medieval Muslims began using geometric grids to straighten out their sketches. I took the practice under my wing and improved it beyond belief. It wasn't until I read a paper on plane symmetry that I began incorporating the math concepts seriously. Thank you to Mr. George Ployes for writing the paper.
And who was this mysterious Mr. Polya?
George Polya was a Hungarian Jewish mathematician that helped me to understand the 17 plane symmetries, groups that he described in his paper, and largely inspired my very first notebook entitled Regular Division and the Plane with Asymmetric Congruent Polygons.
Where did this exposure to the 17 plane symmetry groups lead?
I started getting insane in the membrane with geometry. I methodically plunged into tiling and started a process to find new shapes that could regularly divide into the plane and characterize them. The process led me to create new and obviously impressive art. I did other investigations of math, recorded them in my notebook, regular divisions of the plane, abstract motifs, geometric problems.
What other concepts have you explored?
Infinity is another big one. No pun intended. I spent a lot of time figuring out how I could use it in my art. No matter what concept I'm using, it's for the purpose of creating a certain perception for my audience. But even though I use math all over the place, for things like linear perspectives, where I choose one point on a plane and make all lines connect to it, I did do it all freehanded. Might I say, I get it precisely down to the millimeter. I, lastly, played around with pattern rings like in my snakes piece. Nowadays, all you kids can use computers to do your patterns, but back when I did it, I was just as precise, and it was all by hand, baby.
You're damn good at this. Did you have any mathematical training?
My work is often connected to mathematical concepts, but no, I never really had any traditional training. It just goes to show how naturally art can lead into math.
Fascinating. You are a shining star in the world of both math and art.
Vi, thank you. You aren't too bad yourself.
Thank you so much for this interview. I'm sure the children have learned a lot.
Anytime, and remember, follow your dreams to infinity and beyond.